Miss my Zoom today, then I wanted to give you the lesson that we did in Zoom today. This week, we're focusing on analyzing text structures. We're going into nonfiction, and that is going along this week with RS 6.5. Analyze how a particular sentence, paragraph, chapter, or section fits into the overall structure of a text and contributes to the development of the ideas. Our theme for this is ancient civilizations. So we're getting a little bit more of that social studies that you guys learned last semester. Okay, so let's say you were putting together a jigsaw puzzle. You'd fit the pieces together to form a picture. But what if one piece were missing? You wouldn't be able to see the image as a whole. Authors have to fit ideas together just as carefully. The way they organize information is called text structure. Depending on the purpose, authors might choose to organize their ideas in different ways. They may present problem solution, order events, which is chronologically from earliest to latest, compare and contrast people, things, or ideas, or explain cause and effect. Whatever method they choose, the sentences, paragraphs, and sections must work together to present information clearly and logically. All right, so we're going to take a look at this image below, and we're going to try to pay attention to how does each sentence fit together, and how does each of them work together and contribute to the development of the idea here, of the ideas that are being presented here. I want you to pay attention to, whenever you're doing this on your own, I would like you to ask yourself, well, what if that paragraph wasn't there? Or what if that sentence wasn't there? How would that affect the story or affect the whole idea? How would it be affected? So let's take a look. We're going to look at, and I want to show you that we have a graphic organizer down here. I want you to know that you can use this graphic organizer in your Tuesday, Thursday work as your weekly strategy if you want to. If you're reading nonfiction, you just do part and function, and then you tell me you could do sentences or paragraphs here, and then tell me what each one of them does. Okay, so let's practice this together with this short 4-sentence story. Ancient Rome and Greece both began as city-states. Okay, so what sentence 1 does is it introduces the topic. A lot of times your sentence 1 or your paragraph 1 will introduce the topic. Okay, and the topic is ancient Rome and Greece. Sentence 2 says Greece had no central authority, but Rome was the capital of the empire. So that contrasts the differences between how the two city-states were organized. One didn't have authority, and one had Rome as the capital. Sentence 3 says the Greeks were known for science, philosophy, and art. So that adds information about what the Greeks were known for. And then and that's all fine and good, but let's take a look at sentence 4 and see how that contributes to this puzzle and kind of what would happen if it weren't there. Okay, so it says the Romans, on the other hand, were known for their military might and their civil engineering. Okay, so just like in sentence 3, the Greeks were known for science, philosophy, and art. This contributes to information about what the Greeks were known for. Well, this one contributes information about what the Romans were known for, but it also adds in a contrast because the Greeks were known for this and the Romans were known for that, and it shows the differences. Do you see, if I didn't have this sentence, I wouldn't get a difference between Romans and Greeks. So that's why that's important. All right, so let's take a look at our story. We're going to practice the same skill with a story. Just like the pieces in a puzzle, the parts of the text work together to make something bigger. As a reader, think about how the sentences, paragraphs, and sections work together to convey information and develop ideas. Remember, the parts are in order for a reason, just like the puzzle piece fits only where it belongs. Okay, we're going to read a story called it's an excerpt from The Terracotta Army Protects the First Emperor's Tomb. And we're going to just read this first part, and we're going to think about each paragraph and how it contributes. All right, workers digging a well outside the city of Zhang, China in 1974 struck upon one of the greatest archaeological discoveries in the world, a life-size clay soldier poised for battle. The diggers notified Chinese authorities, who dispatched government archaeologists to the site. They found not one but thousands of clay soldiers, each with unique facial expressions and position according to rank. Although largely gray today, patches of paint hint at once brightly colored clothes. Further excavations have revealed swords, arrow tips, and other weapons, many in pristine condition. All right, so if I'm thinking about how does paragraph 3 build on the information presented in paragraphs 1 and 2, I, again, can use the same graphic organizer, part to function. Paragraph 1 and 2 and 3 are my part, and function is what does each one of them do. So if I want to go back and look at workers, at the first one, paragraph says workers digging a well, they struck upon one of the greatest archaeological discoveries. And I think that this is pretty strong language here. Greatest, when I see words like greatest in the world, I mean, I think that that's strong language and I want to pay attention to it. So this really just introduces the Terracotta Army. And how it was first discovered. Okay, so the first paragraph often introduces information. All right, second paragraph, the diggers notified Chinese workers who dispatched government and archaeologists. That continues the account of the discovery process by explaining how they got involved. Now I'm starting to notice, now that I've read this a couple of times, that first workers were digging a well outside of the city, and then they struck upon one of the greatest discoveries. Okay, and then they notified the Chinese authorities, then they dispatched the government, and then they found not one, but thousands. Okay, so since I could actually do numbers like that, that tells me that this is chronological. All right, so because it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, first and this and second and then third and then fourth and then fifth, okay? All right, so the question says to think about paragraph 3 and how does it build on information presented. So if I'm paying close attention to paragraph 3, I've got thousands of clay soldiers, unique facial expressions, position according to rank, largely gray today, patches of paint, hint at once brightly colored clothes. They talk about how there's further excavations and that they revealed swords, arrow tips, other weapons, and then it talks about pristine condition. So I'm seeing a lot of adjectives here. And when I see a lot of adjectives, I think that that's telling me that this is really describing. And it also is showing me that they even did more excavations and found even more. And so that tells me that it seems like it was important enough to keep on looking for things. So for paragraph 3, since I'm seeing a lot of adjectives, I could say that paragraph 3 describes the Terracotta Army, discoveries, and shows that it was important enough to do more excavations. I'll say to further excavate. Okay, so that's what paragraph 3 does there. And it also continues the chronological order, but it's a little bit different than paragraphs 1 and 2 because it has a lot of description in it. All right, let's continue to read this. And we're going to use the close reading hint, which says the paragraphs tell more about what the archaeologists found. How does each sentence and paragraph develop the key ideas of the text? I'm going to look at my question too. It says, how's the final sentence built on a key idea mentioned in the first paragraph? Okay, so let's read. The soldiers are in trench-like underground corridors. In some of the corridors, clay horses are aligned 4 abreast. Behind them are wooden chariots. So I'm getting a better picture where they are. Clay horses are there, 4 of them abreast. Behind them, wooden chariots. So more description. The Terracotta Army, as it is known, is part of an elaborate tomb created to accompany the first emperor of China into the afterlife, according to archaeologists. So that is answering why they're there. So we have more description. So I'm noticing that it really seems to go from chronological to description. So whenever you have a little bit harder text as you're getting older, something that happens whenever you were younger, it would have stayed chronological the whole time. But as you get older, it will switch in the middle and it won't give you necessarily like a clue that that's happening. So that's a harder text, even though this little excerpt might not be that hard, but if you really dig into it, easier text might give you a subheading to say all about the Terracotta Army, and it tells you that you're switching kind of text structure. So this is actually going from chronological to descriptive. Okay, because basically the chronological part of it kind of ended, and it kept and it went on with descriptive. Okay, archaeologists estimate the pits may contain as many as 8,000 figures. The total may never be known. Okay, so the question is, how does the final sentence build on a key idea mentioned in the first paragraph? So if I take a look at my choices and think about that the last sentence is talking about 8,000 figures, the total may never be known, and the first one talks about how they first came upon that. And I really pointed out greatest archaeological discoveries in the world because I thought that was really strong language. And then that's where you first learn about the clay soldier in this text. So A says, it suggests there's no point in trying to learn more about the Terracotta Army because it's too big. Well, it does say that it's large, but with these words, greatest archaeological discoveries in the world, that tells me that it's definitely important. And it does not suggest that there's no point in trying to learn more. Actually, you know that they did learn more because of further excavations mentioned in paragraph 3. So not A. B says it explains how extensive the site is and suggests the story of the discovery is not yet complete. It could. It does talk about how extensive it is because it says the total may never be known. There's 8,000 figures. And, but since they still have further excavation, you know it's not yet complete. And it's really important. So maybe. C says it reveals how little the government's archaeologists actually know about the Terracotta Army. That's not true at all because we just had paragraph 3, 4, 5, and 6 tell us descriptively about the Terracotta Army. So we do know that the government's archaeologists actually do know a lot about the Terracotta Army. So not C. It implies that archaeologists do not plan a further exploration and must rely on existing findings. So yeah, they did actually plan further exploration, and D is not suggested at all, actually says the opposite, that they had further exploration. So B is my correct answer because it does say how extensive it is and suggests that it's not yet complete because it may never be known, but it looks like that they still want to try to figure out as much as they can. Okay, so that's what you're going to be doing on your own for the assignment for Monday. Secrets in the Stones is your story, and it says, I can use subheads to help me understand how ideas will be presented. I see that there is a question and 2 possible answers. So like if you look at the subheading, what are the secrets of Stonehenge? And then 2 possible answers. It really helps you know how this is organized. Remember what I told you, that easier text this is like medium, easy text. It gives you clues to whenever changes are happening. So so those can help you out. And then your close reading, according to the author, what have visitors to Stonehenge wondered about? Draw boxes around details to provide possible answers. How do paragraphs 3 and 4 fit into the overall structure? Underline 1 sentence from each paragraph. So if you pay attention to the close reading, it will help you answer the 3 questions on the next page. And these are in the Google form. Okay. Then you're going to read the Dead Sea Scrolls. And the Dead Sea Scrolls starts off talking about a Bedouin shepherd and how he tossed a rock into the desert. And this is actually about the discovery of the Dead Sea Scrolls. And if you're in Zoom today, we did go over what is a Bedouin shepherd. You may want to look that up. It's basically a shepherd in the desert. They might be in Egypt or Saudi Arabia, one of those desert places in Africa and Asia. And so this is how those Dead Sea Scrolls were discovered. And then there are 5 questions that go along with this. And just go back to each paragraph it's asking you about. So if 1 is asking you about how paragraph 1 prepares readers for the rest of the account, paragraph 2, you'll read some sentences and ask how that fits into the overall structure. Paragraph how do paragraph 3 and 4 support a key idea of the account? Number 4 is asking you the graphic that best represents the structure. So is this structured? And A looks like a compare contrast. B is a cause and effect organizer. C has an opinion with 3 reasons. And D is step 1, 2, and 3. That's your chronological order. And then for number 5, it says explain why the author includes paragraph 5 in the account. So use 3 details. So don't forget to tell me why the author includes paragraph 5. Just ask yourself, what if paragraph 5 wasn't there? Why is paragraph 5 important? And then while you're answering that question, use 3 details from the text to show how it fits. Okay? So that's your assignment for Monday for this week, just like we went over in Zoom class today. If you have any questions, please let me know. Have a good day. Thanks.